Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of PBnJ. And today's episode, we've been waiting to do for a long time. It's the review of The Last Jedi. I'm here with Jesse and Brian. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad we're able to record this before I head off into my vacation for a couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's good to be able to have one more pod at least with me in it before the year's over. And you guys will probably do a few more before the year's over, right?
Maybe.
We might have to wait for you. We don't know.
You don't need to.
No, offline. Me and John were talking about a couple of shows, so we can probably do that. We can probably review mid-season finales or whatever.
Yeah, there's some.
Dun.
We got plenty of stuff.
I'm way behind on TV shows, so you guys can take care of those, and I'll try to catch up. So I'll know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with my vacation. Go ahead and go to Netflix. You're not gonna catch up.
I'm not
gonna catch up the day before the podcast.
Yeah, I think I'm still on season 6 for Walking Dead, so I don't even know what season they're on right now.
They're on season 6.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now, right?
I'm just joking.
Yeah, Glenn was still alive when I last watched it. So
yeah, you're behind.
Oh wow,
that's like what, 2 years?
Yeah.
You're like, who's Negan?
Who's this guy with his bat, with his spike bat?
Yeah.
You're like, he can't be that cool.
Looking guy.
Yeah. So Last Jedi came out on Friday. We were all super excited for it. We all love Star Wars. Jesse was the first one of us to see it. You probably saw him post it on Instagram. He saw it Thursday night, right, Jesse?
It was Thursday night at 10:30 in the city of Santa Fe Springs at 40X. Yeah, baby. I even took illegal pictures. I was waiting.
I was giving away spoilers to us by taking pictures of the screen.
Yeah, exactly, right? You're like, oh, damn, they're going to be doing that entrance again.
Yeah, there's that crawl. Oh, man. I wasn't sure. Damn it, Jesse.
Yeah. I figured I'd post on Instagram before the buzz gets me. We're gonna be shut down by the feds.
Yeah, me and Brian saw it Saturday. I went up to Frisco to go to the Niner game. We saw an IMAX 3D, and it was cool. It was cool to the 3D stuff. I'm not really super into the 3D, but in a movie like this, it works. You have all the stuff that's in space, all the space battles and stuff. So it really helps with the depth and stuff. And Jesse, the 40X is that's 3D too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's you got the 3D glasses, and then you got water spraying in your face, and you got the smoke in the theater. The first time you see it, you're wondering, is this place burning down or what? But no. and then the seat, you're in a special seat where it actually moves. So when there is actual let's say you're in the Millennium Falcon and it starts swerving left and right, you're swerving with it, so you feel like you're actually in it. That's the whole point of the 40X. You feel like you're interactive in the movie.
How much does the seat turn degrees wise? Would you guess?
Well, a lot of times, it doesn't actually turn left and right. It's kind of more like bounce. So you feel it's like I said, it's more psychologically you feel like you're moving because you're following the scene in the movie theater. So I think you kind of feel like you're right with them. But yeah, the seat itself is most likely stationary. It's just like the effects of the seat itself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we saw it in the.
They're pretty lounge chairs too, so it's pretty cool. Like nice, heavy, instead of the little cheapy chair.
Right.
Seats,
And Brian, the theater that we saw it at, it's the largest IMAX screen, right? And the largest IMAX screen in west of the Mississippi.
Yeah, that was the last time I checked, but there might be a bigger one now, like in Texas or something. But yeah, it's pretty big. I think it's bigger than the ones that I've gone to in LA. So yeah, and the room is pretty big too. It seats a lot of people. Like the one at the City Walk in Hollywood, that one has a big screen, but it doesn't see as many people. So yeah, we got the very last row, and like your eyes still see the whole screen pretty much. So the screen was pretty big, and I like that the screen was sharp too, and it was also in 3D, so it was pretty cool. So Jesse, if you ever come back up, if you should check it out, watch a movie there.
Yeah, dude. I want to see the biggest screen on the West. Of course, you got to have something like that for the nerds up north. They're gonna want the best.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get called out on that by someone saying it's not that one.
Yeah.
You're like, it's the biggest one I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of went, we kind of nerded out on this movie, and we all went. We just didn't go see a regular 2D screen. We went and paid the extra money and saw the deluxe version. Because it's Star Wars, man. You gotta go out a little bit. So I know, Jesse, you've been dying to talk about it since Thursday. So what do you think? Give us your overall review of the movie.
I guess I'm with you guys. We're gonna give this an F. Yeah, ever since I text these two fools that had seen it, they're all talking smack. It's like, oh, we've gotten bad reviews and we hate it. So we'll see when it's their turn to talk.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the movie. Is there a lot of holes? Is there a lot of stuff that they're missing and that I didn't like? Yes. There's things that could have made it better. But at the same time, I'm talking to all the trolls out there. You would have been bitching about it if this is longer. There's so much information that you just can't fill in there, and I think that's kind of the reason why maybe Disney is doing stuff like on the sides, like Rogue One. Rogue One filled in a lot of holes in between movies, and it would be cool if they go ahead and have either some kind of either side movie or maybe even a side comic or something that fills in like. The biggest thing is that everyone's bitching about is, there's no information about Snoke. There's like, who is he? You see him in the last episode, and then you see him in this episode, but it's very like half an hour maybe if that, and so you don't really get a lot of character development about him. So a lot of people are bitching about that. Another one, and that kind of was too was disappointed on finding out that her parents are Noblins. they were like, they gave her up, supposedly. He could have been lying. Kylo could have been lying to her and stuff like that to turn her, but most likely it is possible that, she has no lineage, no Jedi lineage, and she just received or obtained the Force by, by some constant Force or whatever the case might be. Or maybe she does, but her parents were just, whatever, like no one's like I said, maybe they were just raised up in the wrong sector or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you want all this stuff, in the movie, it's gonna be pretty hard to do a solid movie without everybody complaining about something like, oh, it was too long, or it was boring. These parts are too slow. I think they did a really good job with what they had to work with, and I was surprised with some aspects. I mean, I love. When Yoda came around, I was like, what the fuck? Half the movie theater, and I know you guys said that you guys didn't do it, but when like, oh! So, yeah. I think they did some real cool things with this movie. Could they made it better? Yes. Would I go see it again? I would definitely go see it again. So, I give it an A minus, for like I said, some of the stuff that's lacking in the story, but so that's my opinion.
So what did you give Force Awakens, like a grade wise?
You know what? I can't remember. Did we ever review that? We didn't review that, right? I kind of liked it because it was different. Okay, so it really wasn't. They followed like a cookie cutter, so some of the same aspects were from the original series. But like I said, I think it was a new storyline. I was expecting more of a storyline to follow the books that are no longer canon. But I was hoping something like that. But I did like the characters that were introduced. And I'm trying to think because people sometimes ask me, what do I like better? Do I like Rogue One better, or do I like Force Awakens better? Rogue One was really good because it filled in a lot of the gaps. But I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to judge between the two because there's supposedly two different storylines. You know, one's in the past, one's the continuation of the original franchise. So I think I would have probably given Force Awakens an A as well. Maybe now that I see this one, I guess I would, if I was to choose which one I like the best, I would have liked this one better. But that's because there's also more a touch of the Force in this one than the first one. Even though it's like for nothing. Like Dan, Yoda and Luke have a little bonfire in the books, and like it means nothing. If you read the books, some of this is in some of this ideology is in some of the books that and that might be the reason why probably I like this movie more than I liked Force Awakens, because some of it is kind of like some of that same ideology, like of what the Force is from the books.
So Brian, what did you think about it?
I liked it. I like the sci-fi. I mean, it's a sci-fi movie, but I like the sci-fi part of it that Rian Johnson brought in. Reminded me of a little bit of Looper, like just a few of the small trippy stuff that was in the movie, like when Rey went to that hole and she walked up to that ice, and there's like an infinite number of her, like that has a second delay from each other. I thought that was really cool. And this is pretty much like all the other Star Wars movie where there's like three stories going on at the same time, and then at the end they all come together. So I thought that was pretty neat. Of course everything is like towards the end, like everything's coming together at the last minute, but it all works out. So I also thought the interaction with Rey and Kylo Ren was pretty cool too, like how they were connected somehow. So I don't know if the last movie will kind of explain why they are connected, but maybe they are brothers and sisters later on. But then there's a lot of theories, or the movie show that they can't be, right? Because you know who his parents are, but you don't know who hers are. Unless, like Jesse said, he was just lying to her, but she supposedly feels that what he said is correct too. So that should squash out any theory. And also like the last part, the battle at the end, where they're all holed up in that little bunker with the giant gate, and the planet's like full of like salt ice, and you see that there's a bunch of lines drawn on the ground, and then like Luke shows up, and he looked like he was like super badass, right? Like he's standing there and he's not affected by all the AT walkers like shooting at him, and then you find out that he was just a hologram the whole time. So like there's a few like really good like twists in there that there were small twists like that one, and also when you saw a glimpse of Kylo Ren like fighting on the good side for a short minute after he kills the evil guy Snoke or whatever his name is. So if I were to say anything negative, like just being picky, I thought that battle in that room was kind of weird. The background was all red. For a split second, I was just joking to myself that it's like, is this like the set of Inhumans or something? Just like a one color background, but the whole place caught on fire and it burned away, and you see the background, like the space background later. So maybe that was what they were going for. So I think this is different from Episode 7, where 7 was more about kind of recapturing all the fans, because like a lot of us, we got burned from watching the prequels trilogy. So 7 kind of brought us all back in, and then like 8 is like taking it into a different direction. and there's already talks about like another trilogy coming out after 9 is out. So um, maybe the series will go in a new direction. Um, with this new ownership with like Disney and everything.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, the trilogy that was announced that Ryan Johnson's going to be spearheading is going to be entirely new. There's going to be new characters, new story. It will have almost nothing to do with this main story. So they really are that they really are, huh? Zombies, yeah,
Zombies?
yeah, Force zombies, Sith zombies. So they're really letting Ryan Johnson just run wild. I don't know if he's I don't think he's gonna direct all 3 movies, but I know he's gonna be writing them and being the head producer. He was gonna I think he's gonna direct the first one, but after that, but he's still gonna be the main guy behind it. And to answer your question, Brian, the reason why they're so connected was because Snoke connected them. I don't know if you remember him saying that he kind of bridged their minds together, and he wanted to see what would happen.
Okay, yeah, I caught the part where he said that he planted that to Kylo Ren's head that he has doubt and stuff to trick her, but I didn't know that the connection part was also from his doing.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, he created I think he called it a bridge. I think is what he called it. So other than that, there's no connection between them. It's just he put it there, and then I don't know if probably because they killed him when Kylo Ren killed him, he might not have turned it off. So that's why at the end of the movie they were still communicating with each other. I like this movie a lot. I went into it. I mean the reviews came in. The reviews were all great, so I was pretty hyped for it, and it definitely lived up. I liked the new direction, I guess. The last one, like Brian said, it was very cookie cutter, and it was to get the fans back. It was like, hey guys, Star Wars is cool. Remember, Star Wars is good, and they kind of went through the beats again to kind of reestablish the universe and stuff. And after the prequels were so bad, and I still like Force Awakens. It was still really good. Was it kind of the same thing? Yeah, sure. It was instead of the Death Star, you had the new one, and which is almost the same. They had to destroy it, blah blah blah, same thing. But it was still good. And this one just took the story way way out there. It was, I was joking with Brian after that. Really, when you watch the movie, it's a giant chase scene. The First Order are chasing the very last of the Resistance, and they can't catch them because they're too fast. But they're just gonna slowly chase them until fuel runs out. So it was almost like a ticking clock was going on. And we had the 3 different stories. You had that story. You had Poe and Finn coming up with a plan to get some help, and then you also had Rey and Luke and their story, and then all 3 converge at the end. But I loved how they were all separate. All the stories were separate, but at the end they converge, and everything was really. You can see the pace was coming up, and everything's coming to a head at the same time, and it got really really exciting. Seeing at the end, it was like, oh shoot, like you had they were gonna execute Finn and Rose, remember? And then but at the same time, who was it that someone attacked the ship, right? No, they had that going on, but then you had Rey and Kylo Ren battling over. They had their battle going on at the same time, and all this stuff was happening at the same time, and they were cutting to each as like the big climax was coming. I thought it was great. The whole thing with Snoke not knowing who he was, I don't have a problem with it because it doesn't matter. That's the whole thing. It doesn't matter who he is because Kylo Ren killed him. Kylo Ren's in charge now, so it doesn't matter who Snoke was. He was just some guy. He was a mentor who was strong in the Force. I do know he's not Sith. I know that for sure. The director said he's not a Sith Lord. He's just someone strong in the Force. But like Jesse said, there'll probably be a comic about it. There'll probably be a novel about it, and they'll put more info in there. But it doesn't matter. I thought that was cool. If it doesn't matter who he is, why waste time on it? Ryan Johnson said that they did think of some possibilities, and in that scene, it wouldn't make sense for him to Snoke to be like, I'm really Darth Plagueis, because Rey would be like, I don't know who that is. It's not important. Like, she would just kind of shrug and be like, okay, whatever. So it doesn't carry any weight. So there's no reason to have him be like a resurrected emperor or something, because it won't matter to these new characters. So I'm 100% fine with it. I don't care. All the trolls they're just mad because they spent 2 years dissecting everything, and it turns out that they wasted their time. That's all they're mad about. Jesse.
Hey, I haven't even got into that yet. When there's a Sith, there's a Sith Lord.
He's not Sith. That's the thing. He doesn't follow it. That's just Snoke's not a Sith, so he doesn't have to follow those rules. He can do whatever he wants. He's just strong in the Force.
He's a witch, then.
Pretty much. He's a witch. Yeah. That's pretty much what he is. Rey's parents not being anybody important, that's cool too. I like that too, because it's a cool ideology in that you can come from nothing and be great, which she is. And you have someone like Kylo Ren who comes from Jedi royalty, and yet he's not great. He's the opposite. So you see these two opposites coming to a head, and you see who is the one that is capable of greatness, and who's the one who should be and he's not. So I like that a lot too. It's a good, I can't think of the word right now, but it's good to see that opposing sides going at it. And also too, it doesn't really, if you said that, her father's Obi-Wan, if someone like that, I'm like, okay, well now that's just fan service. It doesn't make any sense. Her and Kylo Ren being brother and sister, that doesn't make any sense, because Han and Leia obviously would know. And to not say anything for 2 movies, kind of doesn't. Oh shit, we forgot we had a daughter. Oh yeah, like that doesn't make sense either. Luke didn't have kids; he became a hermit. So to force that in there too, it'd be forcing something that's not natural. So again, it's like the trolls just wasted their time for 2 years, and they're hating on it. So I liked it. I thought it was great. I thought the action was great. I love how the story started slow and then just really picked up. And at the end, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best movie." Yeah, I didn't want it to end. And then and then also I like the humor. There was actually a lot of humor in this one. My favorite part was when Chewie was trying to eat a porg, and they kept closing in on the porg who was the skin and the sad eyes, and he just kept. And Chewie's like, "Damn it!" and he puts it down.
I was with one of my friends, and he's black, and I said, he's a brother. He's like, "Why?" Because he loved that chicken. It was that, like you just like you said, they threw in a lot of small little funny parts in there. So that part was really funny.
And then Chewie adopts him. He has a whole bunch of them all hidden throughout the Falcon.
Yeah, did you see the little nest?
Yeah. They were just too cute that Chewie couldn't leave them. Or how
that's all merchandising. That's all merchandising.
Oh yeah, Disney know what's up. Or when Rey kept destroying the Luke's island, and they have the caretakers are like, "Gah!" and they keep giving her the little creatures.
And like, "Oh, I wonder why they hate you."
Yeah. I don't think they like me very much, and he's like, "I wonder why." The humor added in there, the humor element. That's another thing that's new. You really didn't get that in the other ones. But overall, yeah, I just thought it was great.
Even Yoda was funny.
Yeah, Yoda came in and he was funny, and
he just laughed at Luke.
Yeah, he's just being a dick, right? Yoda was the biggest dickhead.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is that really Yoda? Is that the dark side of the Yoda? But he was funny.
So it was great. Yeah, it was great to see Yoda. That they didn't throw that aside. The Force Ghost, they didn't just throw him aside. So with Luke becoming one at the end of the movie, that totally leaves it. He'll be back in episode 9. And it was cool too that they show that they can affect things. That Yoda, he struck that tree with lightning, even though he's a Force Ghost. So they do have power in the physical world. So I hope they expand on that a little bit more with Luke. Like hopefully he helps them in some way in the next movie. Yeah, and seeing, and then everyone knew going into this movie about Carrie Fisher dying a year ago. It's already been a year. Remember that when she died? It was around last Christmas. So I don't know about you, Jesse, but in our theater when they had when Leia got shot outside, it looked like she was dead. You could hear everyone just immediately just start with the sniffles and stuff. Did you hear that too in your theater?
It was quiet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear any of the sniffles, but it was quiet, and that was kind of weird because at the beginning of the movie when she first came out, everyone like applauded.
Yeah,
or whatever. So I mean, like you said, there was love for Leia, or for Carrie Fisher, and then at the end credit too when it said dedicated to Carrie Fisher, or memory of Carrie Fisher. A lot of people were clapping. Yeah, that scene was like people were just crying, like people were like, oh,
yeah. It's like, oh man, yeah. And Brian heard too. There was a lady sitting next to me, the older lady on my left, and Brian could hear her, and like she was really vocal throughout the movie. She was just like, so at that scene, she was really into the movie, which was really cool. I like it when people are into the movie. And at that scene, as soon as Leia shot out there, and when they showed her floating in space, just bam, tears, just instant. And she was just like, next to me, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. But then when her hand started to move and she woke back up, and she was like, yes, not yet. Like, oh, she's alive. And then she made it, and she was like, yes. So it was cool. It was cool to see someone so into it. I like that the best when people are into it. They're talking and stuff. So. Yeah, and what do you guys think will happen with Leia's character next in the next movie? What do you think they'll do to acknowledge it?
That's gonna be a weird twist because to me, when Luke dies, I was like, wait, what? he just disappeared. He went to the forest. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wrong guy got killed in the movie. And then she comes back to life. She comes out of her coma. Because I wasn't even thinking like, oh, they're gonna kill her in the coma, or they're gonna shoot up the transport. And when they're in the same transport as Poe, it's like, shit, they're not gonna kill Poe too. So you're like you said, you kind of know that her character's gotta die somehow. Because unless they're gonna go ahead and do the whole Fast and Furious, where they're gonna go ahead and CGI her all through, number 9, which they can. I mean, you gotta remember in the last episode, what's his name got CGI'd? Not the last one. In Rogue One.
Yeah, for Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, exactly. That fool got CGI through the whole movie, right? Because he had passed away. So CGI, yeah, they can do it. They got the money for it. It's Disney, it's Star Wars. They can do it, but I don't think they're gonna do it. And like you said, they're gonna have to do something. And I actually thought she was gonna get killed by Kylo because in the preview or one of the trailers, you see there's a scene where he's coming and attacking the main ship, and then you see her like sensing him, and I thought, oh, they obviously had that bond because mother and son, and like, oh, he's gonna know exactly where she's at. He's gonna shoot straight at the bridge and kill her. That's how they're gonna kill Carrie Fisher. And then it's like he can't do it because obviously he has a guilt issue with it. And then the guy next to him, the TIE fighter guy, is like, boom, shoots him and destroys, kills his mom. And during that scene, I actually thought what they were gonna do is because the TIE fighters all go to the side of the ship, I think blocking their view from the main ships. I thought Kylo was just gonna take out that guy who just killed his mom.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't.
No, he didn't. He would just say he like left himself, and I was like, because I would have been pissed because I was like, well, if anybody kills my mom, it's me, No, it's kind of morbid, but that's what he wants to do. That he sees himself as not being able to become fully immersed in the dark side until he actually gets rid of his past. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. But it's just gonna be so weird, like because they're gonna have to kill her, and I hope they don't do her injustice. Like, oops, she fell down the tube. It's like, oh, Leia just tripped over and just killed herself, or Rancor came and ate her, or Jabba the Hutt came and shot her. Something they gotta let her go out fighting. Just like Luke Skywalker. He the reason he died was because of the force projection. Obviously it took a lot out of him, but it was really cool. He did what he needed to do. So yeah, hopefully if they kill, well, when they kill her, they do it like a good, exciting way.
What do you think, Brian? Something like that, or?
Yeah. So I read a few theories on this, and so one of them is that they let some time pass. So it'll be different from 7 and 8, where 7 ends, like 8 pretty much picks up right after, right? So when Rey goes to the island to find Luke, like that's where the movie picks up. So the theory is that they'll let some time pass, and then they'll just say off camera, like that she like died somehow off camera, in between the events of 7 and 8. So that's one easy way to do it, but I don't know if that's going to make sense or if it'll work or not. So I don't know. I mean, if you CGI her back, then you have to come up with this whole big scene of how she's like no longer with the movie or with the series, right? So you got to do that right. But the easier way is to just talk about it off camera and have some time pass, which is possible, right? Because if you look at episode 5 and 6, there were some time that passed in that movie too. So they can do that if they want to. But whether or not that's a good idea, I don't know. I think either way, there's going to be like a lot of like good or like positive and negative responses on how they handle this.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about it. She survived vacuum of space, and they're just gonna be like, "Oh, she died off screen." I mean, to me, it's like you had the opportunity to kill her in space, or obviously that could have been her scene. So for them not to do something not grandiose, but at least a little bit more fitting for her, that would suck.
Yeah, I read it's not a theory. It's just someone on IGN. They kind of threw out how they would do it, and it made sense. And it's probably the best way to do it is to announce her death in the opening crawl. As the crawl goes up, they'll explain the story. The Republic, the new Resistance has become the new rebellion again. And as they're growing, Leia died. She passed away, establishing the new rebellion. And now, whoever, so-and-so is in charge now, and they're taking the orders from Leia to continue her vision, and then blah, 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 blah. That's probably the best way to do it. You would acknowledge her death, and it could just be like just natural causes. She's not a Jedi, and she's not, she's force sensitive and she has power, but not at the level of someone like Luke, and so she can just die. So she just died of a heart attack, something. But it still affects the entire movie in that she sets the plans in motion. The characters are following her lead, and they can acknowledge and reference her throughout the movie in a really, a really powerful way.
They can say that like with her passing, like that's what rallied the
exactly.
Million, right?
Yeah, because at the end of this movie, right, they called out to their friends and no one came. This could do it. Her death, her death rallied the remaining rebellion allies, and they all come together and feel like you can really go off of that. So I actually like that idea a lot. I think that's probably the best way to go, because it sets the whole tone of the movie. It's not just a small little thing. Oh, she's died, whatever. It sets the whole tone. Like everyone is going off of her, and that would be it's the easiest way to do it, I think, and probably the most without because they could try something and CGI her, and then then she dies in a massive battle. It could look bad. You don't know. It just might not come off. People might even be offended if it doesn't come off, too respectful. So I think that's probably the best way to do it is in the opening crawl. You just acknowledge it and go from there. So, you know, that was that. They said that was a guy from that was someone on IGN threw the idea out, but that's probably the best way to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it is something like that. And to do the CGI, it's really, really super expensive. And when they mentioned that, what they did with Rogue One, they asked the producers and the directors about it, and they said, yeah, they did it, but it's not something they would want to do. Oh, again, they felt like it was important for that movie, so they did it. But they said financially, even the mouse, even Disney was like, yeah, that's not it's not fiscally responsible to do an entire movie with a character like that. It's just way too much money. And I mean, and you can tell, right? You can still tell it's fake.
Yeah,
you can
still look fake.
It's still, yeah. Even though it was freaking good, you're like, it's fake. And to do a whole movie with that, with someone who's it will just stand out. And with him, he was only in the movie a couple scenes, 15 minutes probably at the most. So it's okay. You get away with it. You're like, yeah, he was fake, but you can tell.
You can tell mostly with her. You can tell mostly with her though.
Yeah, because it's real. It's people are. I mean, that's what makes CGI so hard is that people look at people all day in real life, so you instantly see it when it's off. That's why even if that's why you see like a CGI character way in the background walking, you can see it's off. It's not right. A person doesn't walk like that. So the whole CGI option won't. I don't think they'll do it. I think they should just do something like that where they acknowledge it in the crawl and then go from there. But what does suck is that the story that they had already envisioned for 9, she was heavily involved, like even more than this one. Like she was a huge part of it, and they had to basically, well, they ended up ditching that script twice because the original director, Colin Trevorrow, he wrote the script. Carrie Fisher died, rewrote it completely, and then got fired. And now J.J. Abrams and his writing partner came in and they rewrote the script completely. So I don't know what it's going to be like now. So now we got to sit and wait for 2 more years.
One thing I do have to say that I didn't like from this movie was Poe's character was shifted. In the first one, he's characterized like a hero, and you almost see him as a young Han Solo type and everything. And then in the second one, he's like scolded. He's like, you know, I don't know, like to me it was, and this is part of the conversation, you know, me and my friends were having after the movie too, it was just like during the whole movie with Poe, it's just like he's just going against Leia's wishes and all this, and he's being like a spoiled little brat, like a little child, instead of like a faithful soldier that he seemed to be in the first one in a way, but I don't know, like he seemed a little bit too reckless in this one than usual, or I should say, you know, comparison to the first one. So I didn't like the way they did that with his character in this one, but they did kind of fix him towards the end, where he's like, oh, this is the reason why. And so, like you said, maybe in the opening scene, like you said, maybe with, because I don't know who else would be in command. I think, I mean, what were there, like 38 transports, and most of them got, you know, shot down. So I don't even know how much of the leadership was left. So maybe he's in charge for the next one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could pull someone else, like that. The other commander was just out of nowhere.
And they killed Akbar.
They killed Akbar. Yeah.
I didn't even know he was still alive until they mentioned his name. It was like, Admiral Akbar, blah blah blah. What? That's Admiral Akbar. He's still alive.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll bring someone. Maybe this is a way for them to bring in. Who was it?
Outside Rims.
That's right. What was her name? Luke's girl. Mara Jade. Mara Jade. This can be a way for them to bring in Mara Jade. They'll need a new commander.
She was on the dark side, though. Remember, she was on the dark side.
Yeah, but I mean, they can change it. I mean, it's not, those books don't, you know.
Then it's not Mary Jade. Then bring in another character. If you're gonna change it, then fucking change change the name out. Mary Jade.
See, Brian, this is the jaded fan who lost all that time.
You know what? Mary Jade is my Harley Quinn in this environment. You know, like I love Harley Quinn in the Batman and the DC Marvel world. Like seriously, if she was real, I'd be stalking her right now, and she'd probably kill me. But
yeah, you don't mess with Mary Jade; she'll jack you up.
Yeah, that's the thing. She was perfect. Like so the fact that they didn't haven't included her in this universe, and like the two characters that I hate that because they killed canon. Or I mean, I'm sorry, they killed the books, and none of that's canon. Admiral Thrawn and Mary Jade. Those are the two characters that I would have loved for them to have continued on. The kids, I don't really care, because if you read the books, they had kids, but it wasn't Kylo Ren, it wasn't Ben. Ben was Mary Jade and Luke Skywalker's kid.
Versus, it was Jason and
Jaina.
Yeah,
Jason and Jaina. And Anakin. They had
and then Anakin, yeah. And then Jason went the dark side, right?
Yeah. So yeah, he would have been the Kylo Ren. He would have. But that's what I'm saying. It's just Mary Jade. Yeah, that would have been a good character for her. But whatever. I don't work for Disney. I don't work for LucasArts.
Yeah, the only time I wasted with all this old stuff is by playing that Force Unleashed games. Those 2 games.
Oh, yeah. See, and that's what bummed me out, too, with Starkiller. I like Starkiller. There was actually talks of a Starkiller TV show. That was going to be Lucasfilm. It was going to be their first live-action TV show. It was going to be about Starkiller. And the actor who played him in the game was already signed up, ready to go to play him on TV. Sam Witwer, I think is his name. And then right after that was when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and all that got thrown aside. So they still kept him around. He voiced Darth Maul in Rebels, I think. That was kind of like their our bad. But yeah, he was the guy that I was bummed. I was like, oh man, no Starkiller. I wanted to see that. Darth Vader's hidden apprentice.
And the other thing too that kind of threw me off was in Force Awakens. You see the First Order on the planet, right? And you see the amount of Nazi military encampments that they have there. And to me, I thought that was the full amount of the First Order. And then all of a sudden in this movie, there's like 6 Star Destroyers that just come out of nowhere, and two dreadnoughts and stuff. It's like, where did these ships come from? To me, it seemed like what was left of the military, what was left of the Empire, or at least this 501st, was just on that planet. And all of a sudden, the military is like super huge.
Well, that might have just been just a base. It might not have been all their base.
Maybe, I guess. Yeah, because to me, I thought like, okay, the Empire fell. This was like a small group of military. That's why they're the First Order. They're just a small group versus the whole. Like basically, everyone said, "Oh, Emperor's gone. Empire's done. I'm leaving." And went AWOL, except for this smaller group. In comparison, and that's what I thought that's what they were. That they were at this planet, and that was it. Then all of a sudden, like I said, you got all these ships. I'm like, holy shit, where did these guys come from? So I guess they're bigger than I expected. Even though they did lose some ships and stuff, but
yeah, now Kylo Ren's in charge, so who knows what the heck's gonna happen?
Yeah, and then the other thing too about the Imperial Guard. I mean, technically they're not Imperial Guard, but I know obviously they wanted to change the costumes from the original one, but I thought the original Imperial Guard were kind of much cooler. And even though these guys had like cooler toys, like the weapons were kind of cool. Once turns into a lasso and all that crap. But the original Imperial Guard seemed a little bit more menacing, around the Emperor. And they might have actually reacted quicker. The Emperor might not have gotten killed. as quickly as Snoke did with, oops, let me flip the lightsaber to the side and turn it
I
on
think
and you're dead.
the original design. I know it was a really cool design, but the actors probably couldn't move around in that too much. It's just a long cloak, and those helmets are just like red with a small black slit. They probably couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
And
I understand why they
yeah,
did it, but
you really can't move in those things.
yeah,
And
you couldn't have had a good fight scene with them.
right,
But,
right. Yeah, and I like that scene too because like, you know, Kylo Ren looks like he's going back to the light side. He kills Snoke, helps Rey. They fight off all the Praetorian guards and stuff. And then, but as it's going through, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, would they accept him back? I don't think so. Like, dude killed Han. Like, and I was just as they're fighting, I'm thinking that in my head. And then, sure enough, he didn't turn back. He just wanted to wipe out Snoke and his crew, so that way he's in charge now. And I was
I kind of knew that's when that was happening. I was like, oh, this fucker is basically taking power now.
Yeah.
Because you saw him. That to him, it's always been power. Like he wants to, and I think what it was is he always felt like he was under someone else, like he was under Han, or maybe he was defined by Han Solo. Oh, you're Han Solo's son,
right,
or you're Luke Skywalker's
nephew.
And
yeah,
I think that's what it was. So then he just wanted power, and I think even Luke Skywalker might have mentioned it, that he just felt his nephew for that less of power or something, and that's what scared him, and that's why he was thinking about killing him, and then of course he didn't. But I think that every time he fell, that's when he beat the shit out of that helmet, because he wants all this power, but he's obviously he keeps on getting into some kind of struggle within himself.
Yeah, and then like Snoke told him, you want to be Vader. That's all you want to be is Vader, but you're just a child. So he destroys his helmet because he's like, the only reason he had the helmet because he wanted to be Vader, right? He had no reason for that helmet. Vader needed his to breathe, and and Kylo Ren just had it because he wanted to be a Darth Vader's type. So then he destroys it because he's like, no, I'm not Vader, I'm Kylo Ren, and he accepts that he's something else, and now he's not a Sith Lord, he's not nothing. He's fucking Kylo Ren. He's in charge.
He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
I'm the universe's new dickhead. Just like we have one in the United States.
Oh.
Oh. And we'll be shut down tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the FCC.
Yeah. So we got one more year. Wait, when does I think it's one more year, right, for Han Solo?
2019. Oh, for the Han Solo. Yeah, I like I said, I was talking to my buddies, and and I don't know if I mentioned this with you, but it's kind of cool that Ron Howard took over the reins because he's a big fan. So I'm hoping that the Han Solo gets love, because what is it? 2-3 directors already?
They had 2 directors originally, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and they fired them, and then they brought in Ron Howard. So he's technically the 3rd director, but those guys are partners, and they do everything. Yeah.
But I mean, and then like, I was joking around with Eric and stuff, and I was saying, okay, Ron Howard's cool. There'll probably be a lot of like character development. And, it'll be a good Oscar movie. But I think Clint Eastwood, it would have been much better, like Han Solo director. Clint Eastwood would have straight up made Han Solo movie the shit.
That would have been a rated R freaking.
Yeah, like every kind of like race of alien would be attacked. Like, think Gran Torino, Dirty Harry.
Yeah. You want Han Solo and Dirty Harry? Yeah, we got it. Oh, it comes out in May 25th. Yeah.
That's kind of like a rush timeline, huh?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why they wanted Ron Howard, because they knew he could do it. They knew he can come in and he can finish the movie on time.
He has experience. It's not like he's not a director. He's obviously been around for a while.
Yeah, and so, a lot of people are kind of worried that it'll just be a safe movie with him. And it's a legit, gripe. he could just come in and make it a safe movie. And who knows what Phil Miller and or Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who knew what they had in mind for him. But I know they were bumping heads with Lucasfilm and were going like way out there, and they didn't really like it. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Ron Howard's a good director. You know, I don't
It's
think
a trilogy, right?
no, it's just a one shot.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just a one shot. So, I'm excited to see it. I want to see what happens. Like when you hear about stuff like that with the movie, you kind of get worried. You know, it's changing directors like that, and you know, right in the middle of their shooting, like you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes you get something like Ant-Man, where you had all this turmoil, but it comes out and it's great. It's funny, and then you have something like Justice League that is just a mess. So it goes either way. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Han Solo ends up being like Ant-Man, where it's still fun and you're gonna have a good time, or it'll be like Justice League, where it's obvious that there's something wrong.
yeah. I was hoping when they went to the casino planet, I was hoping that we would get a little cameo, a little Lando Calrissian cameo.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Area.
I didn't think about that. That would have been cool. Get to see Lando just chilling.
I was like waiting. I was like, "Where's Lando? Where's Lando?" Because that would have been perfect. That would have been his place. You know, him like hustling. You know, at the casino or something. You know.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Why isn't Lando getting any love, man?
I don't know. Well, he's gonna be in Han Solo.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, young Lando.
Donald Glover is the young one.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You got Jack Boo.
Yeah, Jack. Man, it's crazy. We got Infinity Wars May 4th, and then May 25th is Han Solo.
Ooh, that's gonna be hard. Well, no, because that's 3 weeks after. By that time, it should be okay. Hey, it doesn't matter. Disney's still getting money. like I was hearing earlier this week, they were talking about some of the movies that were getting like really big budgets, because they were talking about Thor, Ragnarok, and how Star Wars would pit against that and stuff. I'm like, who cares? Disney's still getting it. I mean, not even that. Coco, same thing. And Coco is like the #1 in Mexico.
Yep.
Coco came out in Mexico like weeks before, like a month before, and it's like the #1 movie over there. You know, and so I'm thinking pesos. It's all coming down to U.S. dollars to Disney. Doesn't matter. They're not really competing against each other.
They're like, hey guys, you want to know how to make $2 billion in a month? Here, this is how you do it.
Right.
So, anything else you guys want to throw in about the movie, or is that it?
Yeah, I got one. I like that they kept the computer screen still looking really old.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Old, right?
I did notice that too. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, I noticed that in Rogue One, but I thought that was just to keep it consistent with like episode, before episode 4. But with this one, it's still like the same thing. So I thought that was really cool. And also, when they brought in Yoda, he still looked like a really crappy puppet.
Yeah.
So it's like it's consistent with all the other movies. So like if you were to watch all the movies like 20 years from now, you can still see that it's still pretty similar style. Like even though the visual is better, but they still kept a lot of things that are like from the original series.
Yeah, when he was CGI Yoda in episode 2 and 3, it just didn't look right.
Yeah.
No.
But to see him like that as a puppet again, I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Like you said, it's a homage to the movie, and I thought it was funny too. Like you said, when they went to the salt mine, the salt base, they even said, "Oh, this is a very old mining headquarters." And like you said, even that equipment was like archaic and stuff. It kind of threw you back to like, Hoth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To me, that's basically what I thought what this was. It's like another Hoth. the little boxes or whatever they were. They were kind of cool too. So I mean that's kind of cool how this franchise introduces a lot of like cool alien, you know, um, I don't know how we want to say characters or beings and stuff, but
Like
they're
new species and stuff.
yeah, exactly. They're very good, you know, of coming up with stuff that's not gonna look super weird, like you know, like Torrico, the chick with three tits, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really cool thing about this franchise. It's not too far from being believable, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's also why I like Benicio del Toro's character.
That he was Chew.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna make him the next Han Solo.
No, he was
like
the whole movie. You know, all the movies it's always been good and evil, and here you have a guy who's in the middle. He's like, look, I'm just trying to make money. I'm just trying to get paid. Dark side, light side, first order, whatever. I don't care. I'm just trying to get paid. You know, and if it's one way or the other, who I don't care who pays me as long as I get paid. So it was kind of cool to see that someone in the middle. Who I don't want to say it's realistic, but I mean, there are people like that, right? They sell to both sides and they make a profit. And also, I'm
dipping in the Disney movie money.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed or if you knew, but his name DJ, it's not an official name, but it stands for "Don't Join."
You mean in the kids characters?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he appeared in a book or I think he might have been in a companion book or something. But everyone refers to him as DJ, but it's not because it's his name, but it means don't join. That's his motto. Don't first rebellion, first whatever. Just look out for yourself.
It's a moniker.
Yeah, exactly. So it was cool to see someone like that who was playing not really playing both sides. He was just getting by.
So was he's not the one that Mons told him to look for, right? Because the one they were supposed to look for was the guy in the white suit with the flower lapel, right?
Right. And then they got arrested, and they were like, "Oh shit!" And then he was just happened to be bunked up with them. Was like, "Oh, I'll help you guys."
Yeah, I thought they're gonna try to do some kind of twist where he all of a sudden you see a lapel on him or something. Because I was thinking it was kind of like very convenient.
Exactly.
That he just appeared to be a hacker too, and a really good hacker.
Yeah, it turns out he was. Yeah. It turns out he wasn't. He was just messing with. He was just playing him just to get paid.
Well, he did hack into it.
Or did hack? Yeah.
Into it, but
for different reasons.
Yeah, he wanted his like you said, he wanted his payday.
And I read somewhere, I forgot where I read it. I don't know if it was IGN or another review or something. And the reason why they put that story in there is they wanted to show, like in all the movies, everything always works out. All their plans and everything works. And they wanted to show this time, hey, it doesn't work. That they failed this time. Poe's mission, like you said, he had to do something. He couldn't just sit around, so he had to do something. So they come up with this mission. And it didn't work. Like normally, they always work at right at the nick of time, right? Oh, they just got it. They just made it. And this time it didn't. It like blew up in their face completely. So they wanted to show something different. They wanted to show that, hey, you know what? They're not perfect. Plans don't always work. And that's why they threw that little that side thing in there. They got played by DJ, and they would have died if it wasn't for Kylo and Rey, destroying the ship and all that stuff. So I thought that was cool.
It was BB-8. What are you talking about?
Or BB-8, yeah. BB-8 came in. He hijacked the walker. Yeah, that was cool. I forgot about that. And like the top of it rips off, and he's like, "Hey guys."
I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought, well, of course they had to destroy the top so they could show who the pilot was.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think you guys hit it on, or you hit it on the nail when you said it. I think they did a good job with, even though you had multiple lines or dialogue happening, they still kept it in interactive with each other. And then they, like I said, they all tied it towards the end, when they all meet up together. But like you said, you while they're coming back, you know, to or are coming to try to hack the Imperials. You got Ray upstairs and they're fighting. It's kind of cool how there's whole action going on, but it's all intertwined. So like different timelines. I thought it was like you said that they do a good job about that.
Yeah, it was a smart story, and Ryan Johnson, that's what he's kind of known for in all his work is it's clever. All his stuff is clever, like Looper. He had like time travel, but he did it in a clever way. The movie Brick. I don't know if you guys seen Brick. Did you see that one, Brian?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, like it was like a detective noir story, but set in high school. That was pretty cool. And then of course is Breaking Bad. The episode with the Fly. I was just the episode of them going after the Fly, but it was actually this really, really important bonding scene with the main character. So he's just a smart guy, knows what he's doing, and now he's freaking rich. So screw that guy. But yeah, I think that's it for us on this one. My final review, Last Jedi. 3 thumbs up. Go see it. I saw it once. Going to see it again, probably sometime real soon. So stay tuned for next time. Brian, like I said, Brian will be gone, so we'll say later to Brian. Who knows if we make it back or not? Might have a replacement on it. Yeah, replacement on hand. We don't know.
I'll be back. Don't worry.
But all right, guys.
I don't know. They might not let you come back in no more. Your U.S. passport might not be valid anymore.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll stay wherever I end up, so it should be fine.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. Stay tuned for next time, and we'll see you later.